We can officially say 2002, the game you're referencing, was a shutout.
I do not remember for sure that it was a
It's been that long. It's been that long.
Bear Bryant was actually coaching him. He mentioned Fran, but it was Bear. 31-19, Florida gets the win, and they clinch the SEC East Championship.
Shows where we're at as a program, which I think which says a lot. So I'm really proud of our guys. Really proud of how we played. Played a great defensive game. We got to finish it there when we get into the cleanup time at the end of the game. We start subbing guys in. They got to come in and slam the door and not give up the 2 garbage time touchdowns that they scored there at the end. But overall, pretty pleased with how we played for the day. Some mistakes, things we got to get cleaned up, but winning the SEC East Championship in this year, the hardest year in the history of this league, we're going to play 10 conference games, regular season conference games, to win our division is pretty special and shows a lot of what the team's at and what our coaches and the whole program's at.
No doubt. Congratulations, by the way. This is coaching carousel time. We're going to miss you. It sounds like you're heading to Texas.
Am I?
Yeah, unfortunately. But
you need to call the boss on that one. I don't know. I go home. I guess I'm gonna go home. And the house is packed already. Then I guess.
Just joking. But are you happy to see Brian Johnson though get an interview for a big job?
I'm happy all our guys to get opportunities. I do think we have a very underrated coaching staff. I've said that a lot. I think people look and say, hey, I get a lot of credit, and I probably get too much credit. And you're kind of shocked. We have a bunch of guys on our staff. I think that would make great head coaches. And it's great to see. We've had some guys through the years with John Hevesy and Billy Gonzalez and Brian get coaching, get interviews. I have some former coaches in Manny Diaz and that's now a head coach at Miami, even though he didn't come directly from us. Kind of a shame that guys. Jeff Collins as well didn't get more. Don't get looked at and get more opportunities. I think we got a great staff. I think we have a great program. I think our coaches would do an awesome job. I'd love to see guys like Todd Grantham get opportunities to go be a head coach and with Brian, with all of our guys. That's what everybody wants in their dreams. And I think programs would be really pleased if they gave those guys an opportunity to go show what they could do.
Thanks, Dan.
Mm-hmm. Mark Long.
Yeah, congrats, Dan. You talked about it being the hardest in the history of the SEC. Just can you take us through just how daunting it's been? All year, really.
Well, you're looking at things. When you have the COVID deal, you have the guys that decide to opt out before the season starts. We come in today's game and we're down. We're already to our third string safety by the fifth play of the game. It seems like, you're doing it against excellent football teams. This is the SEC, and I think one thing that the league's not getting the credit for is playing these. If everybody played, we're playing 4, 5, 6 games or something. Who knows what the records would be? When you're looking at all these teams in this league, usually it's the SEC. You expect a lot of, you look at everybody teams in this record. You expect most people to go 4-0 or 3-1 outside the league. That's kind of a lot what happens, and you start throwing 4-0 onto the current win totals of teams in this league, and I think be pretty surprised. But I think it is such a huge challenge. You're talking about top to bottom, the best league in college football, and when you are that top to bottom, that's where these challenging comes from every single week. There is no breather when you're playing an all SEC schedule. There's no chance to catch your breath, and it's a huge deal for our guys to be able to come and win the league with that type of year that we're going through.
We've seen you dance in the locker room this year. Did you dance tonight, or was it pretty subdued?
No, it was a good celebration for our guys. I think our guys are really excited. Our guys are happy. This is what we work for, was this opportunity to go win the East. And but I think our guys are also very driven and like I said, we're going to enjoy this win. It's a very celebratory atmosphere in there, but I think our guys also know they're going to be ready to get back to work next week and get better. And I think the goal is to win the East because that's what we can control coming into the season. Now, you go to our guys, they want to accomplish an awful lot more than that. But that's all we can control coming into a season, and we were able to do that. And then so now we have the opportunity to control being SEC champions, and that's the next step. And so we got to start preparing for that 2 weeks from today.
And with that, Georgia's run of 3 straight SEC East titles comes to faces an unranked LSU. Hard to believe. But yes, Saban indeed back on the sideline for this one. And is revenge maybe a factor? Remember LSU won last year.
Every season is different. Every team is different. But do I think it is a motivating factor with individuals and players? I absolutely think it is. I think that, awareness of what happened in last year's game and all that is always something that, players remember, think about how they felt, after the game last year or whatever. Nobody likes to get disrespected. And I think when you lose a game, you feel that way to some degree. And I think it's human nature to try to make it right. So I do think that is a motivating factor for most human beings.
We talked about this. You mentioned it's not, and it's true, it's not often that they play a team that beat them the last time they played them.
Yeah.
But you buy into the motivating factor?
There's no question about it. And the Coach Saban may downplay it, but you and I know as players.
He mentioned it, though, CD. That's a big
The fact that he even addressed it leads me to believe they've been talking about it a little bit this week. But they don't have many opportunities, and when they do, they use it to their advantage. And I mentioned it to Dari last night. I thought that game against Florida in 2008, where they lost in the SEC championship, fueled them to that 2009 championship run. Mm-hmm. I thought the beatdown by Clemson in the 2018 championship game fueled them to some success last year. And then losing this one, the way that not only they lost, but the way that LSU celebrated in their own backyard, invited the recruits to come to Baton Rouge, the fact that they said, hey, we're going to, everywhere we see them, we're going to beat that Roll Tide, all of that stuff has been brought up many times this week, I guarantee.
Yes, we all saw the video. You can't forget that. And Alabama's going to take advantage of it. Anytime you would love playing the underdog because it's easy. It gets you more riled up. I remember when I was playing at Alabama, and I hate going back in the time that far back, but Nick Saban was at LSU, and we had heard that they had said certain things about Alabama's program at the time. Dennis Franchione had it in every locker. And that is what you do to get guys going up. And the LSU people, they didn't know what was going on in the locker room, but we were ready to go. And before you look up, we had beat them 30-something to nothing or 7. So anytime you can become an underdog, it's always a motivating thing, and you can use anything to get yourselves riled up. And Alabama will fuel this, especially on the road in Baton Rouge, to try and have an embarrassment or trying to get them back.
Yeah, you think,
in Baton Rouge, that's big.
I want to go back and look up the score, by the way. He said 30-0 or 7. As a defensive guy, I think you would have known if it was a shutout.
I was kind of wondering that.
Was it a shutout?
What year was it? Shutout?
It was 2002.
Stewie, you got this?
Let's look that up.
He's on it.
Thank you.
On it. All right.
It was a beatdown.
But you're like, we often see Nick Saban.
I was right. There we go.
What was it?
31-7. Beatdown.
Beatdown. We often see him kind of call the dogs off a little bit.
Oh, you ain't calling the dogs off tonight.
No dogs are being called off?
I'm calling double nickels tonight.
I thought that before a couple weeks ago, before the opt-out and all the game being moved, I thought Alabama may be able to win by 20-something points.
Before, like, Terrace Marshall opted out.
Right. And I think Alabama's definitely going to – they're going to try and run it up. If they have the opportunity, they're going to run it up.
I think for another reason, too, it's to show, everybody's talked about, wow, LSU lost all these players from last year. Alabama does this every single year. I mean, it's every single year they have to face replacing great players with other great players. And I think that's
another side of this.
We're the steady team in this conference. You're just the one-hit wonder.
Does
standard.
Nick Saban, right, Nick Saban's team. Does it matter to him? Like, would he allow Mac Jones to put up massive numbers if possible? Even playing him a little bit longer into the
I don't know that you play him
because
into
of the Heisman Trophy race that he might
have his chance heads up against Trask.
Right.
I think
all right, fair
you
enough.
don't want to risk him getting hurt.
No.
And he's very confident in Bryce Young. Bryce Young has come in and looked good in the second half of some recent games.
Right, and with Alabama, it's not so much about who they're playing. They want to continue to have the standard in which they play. And they understand that they're going to get every team that they're playing.